Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks his hard tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, swings down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's Jordan! Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. And guys, it is time, man. Everybody, clap your hands. Let's go, man. Crazy C is in the building. Carry-On is in the building. P Money, NY to the Bay is in the building. Raphael, Theodore, Robert, Jr., Callie. Oh, man, y'all been holding me down. Fazil is in the building. What's up, man? Huh? This is going to be a good one. Boats is already in here making his presence known. Avion is in the building, man. Shout out to all of y'all out there, man. Hold up. Let me make some noise for y'all. My man Ali is in the building, man. Where's my DJ noises at? I want to hear some. That's a little weak. That's a little weak. We could do better than that. Come on now. Let's do it again. Come on. We could do a little bit better than that. Now, come on. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. All right, guys, we got a fun-filled episode for you guys today, man. I'm stalling a little bit. I'm trying to stall a little bit. We got some people jumping in here very, very soon. My man Tony is going to be rocking with me today. At least I think so. He's saying, saying he can't access his email. I don't even know what that means. It's 2024. Can I just paste him the link and maybe he could join that way? I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. Is there another email address I should send it to? All right, but let me run through these formalities while we wait for our guy, Tony. Now, guys, you're going to notice something today, and what that is going to be is that we are using black for all of the banners and borders and all, and that is because, fingers crossed, I have someone very close to the Steelers situation, someone with some insight to what's going on with those Pittsburgh Steelers and a player who I won't name. I told this guest that I wouldn't mention him until they were coming on, so I'm going to hold tight on that. So let me go through the formalities really quick, okay? Right now, scrolling across the bottom of the screen are the instructions for the stream, okay? If this is your first time here on the YouTube page, we hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we are going live. Sometimes I get to plan these shows hours in advance, sometimes days in advance, right? Remember the 24-hour stream? I told everybody about it. I said, we're going 24 hours the day before the Super Bowl. How stupid was that, right? Like, think about this. I did a 24-hour stream leading into the day of the Super Bowl, which means I had to crash on the day of the Super Bowl. Why didn't any of y'all out there try to talk me out? 14,000 plus subscribers, and none of y'all tried to talk me out of that. Where was the support? Why didn't y'all show me love? Why didn't y'all say, hey, Mike, maybe not that day, right? Like, why didn't y'all say, Mike, that's not going to be the thing to do the day before the Super Bowl? But I powered through, and shout out to all the different channels that joined. I really, really appreciated it. There was a lot of them, too. Shout out to all the different content creators that came on. It was open forum. I literally had anybody that wanted to come in and rock with your boy. And right after that, guess what YouTube did? They put a cap on your boy. They took away monetization. They said I was crazy. They would not let me do it. And it turns out that YouTube is against people like doing super duper long streams like that. They just banned this guy who stayed live for I forget how many days, but he ended up in the hospital for lack of sleep and psychosis and all kinds of stuff. And they like banned his channel. So apparently YouTube does that for safety reasons. I'm saying safety reasons, but I want to put that in air quotes because not only did they allow me to rock out for 24 straight consecutive hours, and not only did they allow that young man to run for, I think it was like 3-4 days straight or something crazy like that on a live stream, as soon as it was done, they took down both of our streams. So they enjoyed the thousands and thousands of viewers that we obtained during that time. I had over 8,000 viewers on the live. Now, not at one time, but cumulative. I can see the stats still. They let us do it, and then as soon as the video was done, they were like, yeah, nah, that's not safe. We got to take it down. So then why didn't you block it while we were live? Anyway, I want to get away from that. I'm sorry. Back to these formalities. So, yeah, hit like, subscribe, turn your notifications. Head on over to the Patreon, man. Patreon and the members here on the Nothing But Niners page. You guys got some special content today. It was live. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. There are 4 tiers over there right now, guys. There are 4 tiers. But here's what you get over there. Bonus content. Those out-of-market games that some of you guys can't see, especially my East Coast subscribers, right? Head on over to patreon.com. Bonus content, bonus videos, the games, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys head on over there, patreon.com/NB9ERS. Become a member of the page. Now, the members of the page don't get the same exact perks that the Patreon community does, but they get some of them. There is some overlap, so make sure you guys get there, all right? Also follow us on some of our social media platforms. We have Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Those handles are Nothing But 9. That is the number 9. Nothing But 9, ERS. And last but certainly not least, we have Facebook and Twitch. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. Now, I don't know if anybody is out there right now in the Facebook community. All of these new rules have really changed some things around. I've been trying to go live on our Facebook group for months, and it's been giving me red flags and saying I couldn't sign in and things like that. But for whatever reason, I found a new way to log in today, and I think it's working. So I'm not on there. I can't really see it. But if it's working, cool. If it's not, sorry. Get on over here to the YouTube page. You guys can join. Sin, thank you so much. She says Mike's Patreon, and she gives it 3 flames, guys. Come on now. Yeah. Drop a bomb on it. Stay calm on it. Let's go. All right. So let me see what's going on with my guy Tony. Maybe he won't make it. I have no idea. I don't know if Tony's gonna make it or not, guys. All right, I don't want to waste your guys' time. I got some stuff to get into. I can't get it to my computer. Phone? Want me to stall? All right, I will continue to wait to hear back from him. And in the meantime, I do want to go over a couple of other things that have been going on with me in my personal life. I'm going to share a tweet with you guys. And this tweet is an interesting one, all right? So it's one that I posted on my page. Do you guys remember there was this commercial? Now, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in the early 80s. So let me say that again. I'm an 80s baby. But there was this like jingles were the thing in the 80s and 90s. And like that's how you like, you know, like I can sing the Big Red jingle. So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. Right? Y'all know what I'm talking about? That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on while you chew. All right, so I'm not going to, all right, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So jingles like stuck out in my head. Like I was a guy that liked music. Okay? I was a guy that liked music. And so jingles really stood out to me. All right? So my wife sends me a honey-do list, and the honey-do list had everything to do with the grocery store. We need these specific items from the store. Can you please go and get them? Stop by and get them. There was a list of needs, and then at the very bottom of the list was something that she made it a point to type it in. She said, I want you to see this. This is specifically what I'm looking for. It should be at the candy aisle. And I want you to get this for me, please, if you can find it. All right? So I'm going to bring my man Tony in when he gives me the thumbs up. And he's still trying from his phone, so it's okay. I mean, from his laptop. I think he's on his phone right now. When I get the thumbs up, we'll pop Tony in here. There he is there. What's going on, big dog?
I hate computers. I hate computers. Seriously.
Listen. It's technology, man. You know, hey, listen, it wouldn't be good if it wasn't messing with you and pissing you off. So, you know, I mean, that's just the life we live right now. Oh, there he goes. All right, there we go. So, so my wife sends me this honey-do list, and I am busting my butt trying to figure out what this piece of candy is that she wants, right? Now, I sang the jingle because I realized what this candy was afterwards. All right, so here's the post that I made. I'm going to share it with you guys. And it says, and I quote, "Today, I learned that Cadbury makes more than just those slimy Easter eggs." Tony, do you remember the Cadbury candy?
Yeah.
Like it was only on Easter. I never heard of Cadbury candy before that. The only candy I ever heard of from Cadbury was the Easter eggs with the little slimy stuff in it. So I said, did y'all know they had other products? I have never had the eggs because they look gross to me. But my wife requested these today. And so this was the request that she made. These Cadbury, it says dairy milk chocolate. And it says, let me see if this works. Can you guys see that? Is this picture showing up on the screen, Tony? So there's these Cadbury Easter eggs, and it says Caramello, right? And the jingle, when I read the name of it, immediately popped up in my head. Caramello, there's nothing mellow about it. Do you remember that jingle, Tony?
No.
Probably not, right?
I can't say yes.
That's how psycho I am, that I remember this damn Caramello, there's nothing mellow about it commercial. I remember that, but I had no idea what Caramello chocolates were. Okay, so the Caramello chocolates, I remember that, but I had no idea that it was made by Cadbury. So, Tony, did you know that Cadbury made other types of candy other than the eggs?
No, I did not.
Look, people are saying it's good.
Bro,
who knew?
I swear to God, I'm going to flip the fuck out, bro.
Don't break the computer. It's okay. We got you. Listen, all right, so this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to start talking about Brandon Aiyuk. Our special guest is down there. When she gives me the thumbs up, we will bring her in. And but listen, so this is what we're hearing. All right, I see it down there. We're good. We got the signal to go live, so we're going to do this. News came out today from Ian Rappaport saying that, basically the same stuff that we've heard. The 49ers have an offer for Brandon Aiyuk from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's up to the Niners to accept the trade or extend Aiyuk or what. To me, I'm going to be honest with you, Tony. This report said absolutely nothing new. But I want to get your thoughts on it before we bring our guest up. She's down there. She's waiting. She is super patient. I'm going to share what the actual tweet was from Ian Rappaport. Let's just bring that up on the stage really quick, and then we will get our special guest in. She is going to give us some insight to what these Steelers are trying to do, and then what a Steelers fan's perspective is on this as well. All right. So here's the tweet from Ian Rappaport. He says here, and I quote, update on Brandon Aiyuk. The Steelers and 49ers have a deal on a potential trade and potential trade, and Pitt is in a good place on an Aiyuk contract, sources say. If SF gives the final sign off, it's done. SF has an offer out to Aiyuk on a long-term deal for him to stay. He hasn't accepted. And this tweet sent X, Twitter, in a frenzy. And I don't understand why, because to me, this is the same old same. Okay, I'm going to let Tony beat his device over there, and I'm going to bring our guest.
I swear to God, I'm about to break this computer. I hate it.
All right. Don't break the computer. Let me bring the guest in, and if you need to drop out, you drop out. All right, D.
All right.
What is going on? This has been a long time coming, guys. So I've been trying to get D on since I found out we were playing the Steelers in week 1 last year.
Oh, really?
See, this is how you know. Listen, she's so popular, she didn't even check her DM. She said, oh, really? So it's okay. It's all right. I'm not offended.
That's not the case. That is not the case at all.
Let people know who you are, where they can find you, and then we'll go ahead and get down to the get down.
Hi, everybody. I'm D. D Love Sports. Host a podcast called The Steelers Chat. You can find it on the D Love Sports YouTube. Also on X, Twitter. I'm always going to call it Twitter. You can find me, D Love Sports. Literally every application, D Love Sports is my handle. So you can find me there.
All right. Now, D,
Uh-huh.
I want to first start by applauding your work. I've been following you for a while. I actually found your page due to Dawn Montgomery.
Oh, okay. Shout out to
She
Dawn.
retweeted something that you did.
Uh-huh.
I went through the page. I liked it. I said it's an opinionated woman standing firm in her beliefs.
Oh,
I saw
that's
some different clips of you with other players and all, giving people candy and stuff. I see you out there working. And I was like, all right, I'm in here. But why don't you break down what you think is happening, and then what do you as a Steelers supporter want to go ahead and happen? Because this is very interesting. Like I want you to take me through the timeline when you first heard that the Steelers were even interested in Brandon Aiyuk.
So the Steelers and the 49ers have been in bed together about this, whether it's Brandon or another player. I'll just not say the name. Back since like early March, May area. So they've been in having some conversations back and forth for months and months and months and months and months. So this isn't something that just came out of the blue. Whether it was Brandon, whether it was another player, they have been trying to finagle something with them for a long time. Now, everything that's transpiring now, of course, Brandon's been trying to get a deal done all off season, and I think he's done everything in his power to push the envelope, because we all know the history of the 49ers, especially these last few seasons, where they're waiting to get these deals done. Like Nick Bosa, like he was right before the daggone season started, right? Deebo Samuel had to wait. I remember exactly how long his was, but I think Brandon was doing everything in his power to kind of push the agenda of like, let's get something done. Or if you can't or you won't, let me move on, or let's move on. So I for one applaud I'm team player on things like this. I know there's a lot of 49ers fans out there that are like, he's a diva, he's this. The man just wants this money. He wants to get an extension somewhere, and if it can't be here, then like let me go somewhere else. So I don't have a problem with any of the things that Brandon's done, given the organization that he's at, and given the history this organization has had with these extensions. Unless you're Christian McCaffrey, you gotta wait. So, so for me, I'm just saying, I'm just calling it like it is. So
they're calling you out in the chat, just so you know. My Niner fans they're on your head top out there. I saw someone give you some respect about the the AB jersey in the back. They say I need to see a Jerome Bettis jersey, so
I
I know
don't have
she's
a
real.
Jerome in here. I don't. Sorry. I have a Palomalu. I don't have a Jerome in here.
Okay,
So.
okay, all right. I think we should give her a pass. She's got the Troy guys. Like, come
I
on.
got Troy. Always Troy.
There you go.
So as far as where me personally, I have a different perspective than normal Steeler fans because Steeler fans are just like they're extreme. I'm a little bit more rational. Would I like to have Brandon Aiyuk? Absolutely. Was I always concerned about the compensation that would have been given up? Do I think the compensation has significantly taken a hit? I know it's taking a hit since early on months of what the compensation would have been for a Brandon or X other player from San Francisco. It's not going to be what it was back in March, May timeframe. It's not happening. So I'm not so concerned on it being a high pick more than just multiple picks. I don't see a Pittsburgh Steelers player. I don't see a significant Pittsburgh Steelers player, especially prior to this preseason game, like preseason game. I'm open to a player, certain players, but of course none of the big names are gonna go. But I don't think a player is a part of the deal. Whatever, and if it is, so be it. But I'm okay either way. Me personally, Brandon can come, Brandon cannot come. I'm fine. Would we love to have Brandon? Sure. And if not, I'm okay. Like I'm so tired. I want it to be over. I want him, most importantly, I want him to get his money. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to pay him $30+ million a year. So if the 49ers are going to give him that 30 plus and he can stay there and, stay in his current home and space, great. But you're not going to get the $30 million a year from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So that's interesting because now, to be honest with you, I'm with you. And I think everybody watching this right now, we are all over this. Like, just make a decision and let's just rock out with the season. 49er fans, Steeler fans are united on this front, right? To be fair to Brandon, I think it's the media more than him. He hasn't done a whole lot of talking this whole time, in my opinion. It's the agent, it's the reporters, and then it's the caricatures on Twitter getting the rumblings going and things like that, right? You said that he's not going to get $30 million a year from the Steelers. Now that's interesting because one of the reports was that New England was offering, I've heard 26, 28, 32. I don't know where they get these numbers from, but that's what I heard. And Aiyuk said, I don't want to go there. Why do you say, you sound very certain the Steelers maybe can't offer $30 million a year? Is that what it is? Is it the cap?
They're not going to. It's just the way that they pay. Like a guy like Patrick Queen, I don't know. Yeah, they're just not gonna do it. I don't even remember his actual deal, but he could have gotten way more money, especially in the guaranteed end, than he got what Pittsburgh offered him. Like, you come to Pittsburgh and you definitely kind of settle. You come for Pittsburgh, it's not for the big contracts. The highest paid guy on the team is TJ Watt. So unless you've proven that you are that, sorry, you really got to prove your worth to this particular team. And
from the outside looking in,
it's just to me, it's one of those bargain teams. They're gonna. I made a reel about Coach Tomlin coupons because like the plus with Coach Tomlin is people want to play for him and they will take less, they will do less, they will move to a city, and that's what I think. I don't think people understand. Pittsburgh isn't San Francisco, it's not Atlanta, it's not LA, it's not one of those cities with a bunch of glitz and glam and you can hang out all night and celebrities are coming to town. It's not that city. You're going to spend a lot of nights in your house. It's not that type of town. So when you come to Pittsburgh, it's not for all of the other things.
Yeah, I'm a couple of hours away in Pennsylvania myself. I'm closer to Philly, much closer to Philly than Pittsburgh, but I have heard very, very similar things, that it's not a city of like partying and things like that. Like you can find certain spots, but it's far and few in between from what I'm hearing. From the outside looking in, because us Niner fans, we're too close, right? There's Niner fans that feel Aiyuk isn't worth the money he's asking for here on this team because of how many offensive weapons we have. A lot of fans feel that he benefits from being the self-proclaimed fourth option here, right? You get these numbers and you get those looks because defenses aren't focusing on you. The flip side is the fans that feel, imagine if Aiyuk got CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson type targets. Imagine what he could be. So from the outside looking in, how do you view Aiyuk the receiver?
So I think Brandon Aiyuk he tore us up week 1 last year, so we got a nice good look at Brandon Aiyuk. But I think I like the skill set that he brings to the table. Is he coming in being a number 1 on this team? I have to automatically say no. And because one, there's no rapport there with the Justin Jefferson or Russell Wilson. George Pickens is that guy right now. And that's just what it is. So right now, so you would be coming in and one having to learn Arthur Smith's offense. You'd be coming in behind the curve, and for you to come in behind that curve and automatically think that you're number 1 would be crazy to me. I'm not saying that he couldn't be, but immediately they wouldn't. I don't even think they would have that expectation for him to coming in the gate.
I understand. Okay. Well, I will say this. You have made me feel a lot better knowing that.
I've provided some comfort.
Well, you have, because I'm sitting here thinking, man, is this really going to go all the way to $30 million a year? You're saying there's no way that's what Pittsburgh is offering. And
yeah, an extension. But if they paid him $30 million a year, I would be shocked. I've been saying it
what's
for a
TJ
month.
getting?
I forget what his cap hit is this year. I don't know. I know he's at the top, right? And I think under him is Cam, and I think under him is Minka. So like our cap hit for this year, for the highest cap hit per wide receiver this year is $1.8 million, and that's George Pickens. So they're like, our wide receivers are not getting paid a lot of money. They're not hitting the cap hard at all. So they got rid of Deontay Johnson, which would have been your biggest cap hit. And
so I just looked it up. He's getting $28 million a year. TJ Watt. That's the average.
So like I said,
Wow.
it's not gonna happen here.
Okay.
I just don't see it. I don't see it. And if it happens, I will be stunned. I'll be stunned.
I have to ask you this question. I like to make things light, keep things light. Do you think Brandon Aiyuk and Mike Tomlin look alike?
I see some resemblance there. Especially maybe the lower
this area, right?
Yeah.
Right in there. Okay. All right. I can see it. All right. So you're fine either way, with or without Brandon.
I'm good either way. I'm good. He's definitely a nice to have, and we'll welcome him with open arms. Our fan base are crazy, as you can see. They're one of the reasons why this thing is just as big as it is. I feel like the 49ers fans have gone through this roller coaster of he's not going nowhere. Like, y'all can't have a blah, blah, blah. And then it's like good riddance. Like, you don't want to be here. Go. Bye. Like, I don't even know. Like, y'all are a little crazy wacko too.
That's how we get down.
Meanwhile, the Steelers fans are like, please, Brennan, please, somebody, please. I can't even post anything without someone like, what do you know?
Right. And so
they're obsessed.
Niner fans are very much team oriented. It's this. It's not.
Y'all need to talk to y'all GM, because this is ridiculous. Like that's where I would have a problem. Like, why are we in this mess? Why is this not done? That's where why are we continuously having hostage-like situations with our players?
Yeah. Yeah, and they always do this. All the big extensions usually come in the middle of August. They never get done before then. And I don't know why it's all of a sudden so new. Maybe it's because Aiyuk is viewed as one of the top options on the market, maybe. But he's not really technically on the market. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why he's looked at as one of the up and coming wide receiver stars. So maybe it's like the biggest name this close to being available. My last question for you, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. All right, yeah, he's good. He's good. All right, I just got the thumbs up from my man Tony. I want to bring him in case he has any questions for you as well.
Okay.
There he is down there. My last question for you is I feel like the Steelers have a pretty solid reputation of developing wide receivers.
They do. They do. They've drafted some amazing wide receivers, and not necessarily in the first round either. I mean, Antonio Brown was like a 6th rounder. Who else did they? I don't know why I'm drawing.
They've had Mike Wallace over the years. I mean,
we have Mike Wallace. Emmanuel Sanders was on there. At one point, he went off to win a Super Bowl. Martavis Bryant was amazing. He just, I think he just signed with the Commanders. Like Juju Smith-Schuster, he was awesome for us. Like, found this young kid out of USC. Chase Claypool, unfortunately, just got the news of his season-ending IR. He was great for us when he was with Ben. I mean, they do have a knack for finding talent. George Pickens, there's just, the list goes on just about the amount of talent they found at the wide receiver position and been able to use those guys.
So then, I guess my question is, why are the Steeler fans clamoring to get this wide receiver brought in from the outside? That's not normally their thing, is it?
No. Well, the way Omar has just kind of stuck his neck out there and done some of the ununique things this organization hasn't done before, and from the trades early on when he got in, trading Claypool to essentially get the things that we've gotten for him, which was essentially George Pickens. Claypool actually announced George Pickens, and then who did we get? Who did we get in the second round? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but anyway. The moves that Omar Khan has made have been just so dynamic and drastic and against what we're used to, and just aggressive that we love it. Like, we cannot even argue that he has our best interest. He's trying to win now. He's going to do whatever it takes, and we're just not used to going after the guys that have a resume or have this great potential outside. We kind of home grow everything. And so it's nice. It's nice to see the efforts out there, and I think that's it's exciting this team to another level, because we're like, okay, we have Russell Wilson, we have Justin Fields, we got a new center, we got Patrick Queen, we have all we got Peyton Wilson. It's so much happening that's exciting this team on both sides of the ball, and I think it's just another element to keep the momentum going. And you start to rebuild this team offensively with some serious weapons.
Yeah. Tony, did you have any questions for Dee? I know she's had a long day. I don't want to hold her for too long.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, I just feel. First of all, let me ask you a question. Did you host a space today?
Yeah, we actually do it on Playback TV now. We're trying to get it connected back to Spaces, but so we do a Sports and Coffee is my show. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sports and Coffee is my morning show. If you follow on Twitter, you can see the link to the Sports and Coffee, but we are on Playback TV. We do it every morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sometimes we go over. So if you want to join us on Sports and Coffee, we talk sports all morning, every morning, Monday through Friday. So come on over.
I don't know. Cool. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, just I kind of get the vibe. You're saying that you guys don't really want to go down that path by trading, giving up assets, and signing a big deal towards Brandon. Now you feel you have your weapons there. You drafted a guy from Michigan, I think, this year in the second or third. Yeah. So, I mean, my thing is this, the 49ers are in a tough spot, right? I mean, they're about to they're about to have to hand out a very massive contract to their quarterback. And all the teams that were interested in Aiyuk, 3 of the 4 teams were not stable. I'm not going to say it's not a knock, but are not committed big dollars to a quarterback. So that gives teams like that flexibility to try to make a move to bring a guy in like this. You have Russell Wilson. I don't know Russell Wilson's contract, but I don't think it's anywhere what he was making when he was in Seattle. Fields is still on a rookie deal. Washington was interested. They have a rookie quarterback. The only team really that had a quarterback with a large cap hit was the Cleveland Browns. But the flip side of it is like there's people on the media on Twitter bashing the Niners for not pulling the trigger on that. But I mean, all due respect, I'm not going to fork up draft compensation plus a receiver for using Cleveland as an example. Amari Cooper, if there's no guarantee that he's going to sign an extension. And it seems like the fan base was blaming the 49ers for that. But I just feel like if he truly wanted to be there in Pittsburgh, then let him go, because I don't want somebody on the that is going to be not 100% bought into the program and truly want to be there. I think he would have been a great fit for that team. I mean, I think he would have been – he's a good receiver. You can't take it away. He's a good receiver. He's a second-team All-Pro, 72 catches. Right, Mike, he had last year? 72 or 78 catches. He went over 1,000 yards for two consecutive years.
Two straight years, yeah.
And it would have been a nice building block. But, I mean, I don't think the Steelers are like –
outside of your quarterback, who do you value? Like, who's your quarterback, and then Christian McCaffrey, and then who's next?
I honestly feel, my honest opinion, and me and Mike butt heads over this, I think Kyle Shanahan values Deebo Samuel over Brandon Aiyuk more.
Why?
Actually,
I feel that because he offers more, he's more
available. Because that's your first.
It's not the available part of it.
But availability is your best asset, right?
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. But I just feel like
it's not. What we doing, Mike?
No. I'm saying not with Deebo. It ain't.
Oh yeah, I'm just.
If you look at past practice, right, where Deebo's been out, the 49ers offense is bogged down, right? Because that threat of Deebo being on the field and getting the ball into Deebo's hands fast and quick and letting him do what he does best is not there. And Mike and I and all the guys with Nothing But Niners have had numerous conversations. Okay, listen, there's going to come a point in time that the 49ers pay this guy this type of money, which it seems like they're probably going to now. And the 49ers are going to have to lose good players because if they shell out this contract to Brandon Aiyuk. And I just want to say that. But my concern is because of all the talent on the 49ers offense, there's never been a true time where a defensive coordinator had to say, 11, take him out of the game. We're taking Aiyuk out of the game. Let him try to beat double team. Let them try to beat us with other people. It hasn't happened. And I'm telling you straight as a Niner fan, if he thinks he's getting $30 million, which I don't think he is, if he thinks he's getting $30 million, he better prove that once it comes time for the Niners having to move on from players because his big money's about to kick in, he better hope he's winning those one-on-ones, or he better hope when the defensive game plan is catered around him to stop him, he better produce. That's where my issue is, because Deebo's on his last year. They have an opt-out after this year. Kittle's coming up on his deal. McCaffrey just extended. Jennings just extended 2 years. So there are still going to be some pieces, but I just feel
not going to be doing this every year.
That's the problem. It's going to be an every year thing, and
we'll be right back here next year. Hopefully,
who's it going to be next year, right? Like what a lot of Niners fans don't understand, because they have to shell out $50 to $60 million for Brock Purdy. You could potentially have 2 new corners next year because they're both free agents.
$50 to $60 million.
He's going to get it. I think he's. I mean, it's not going to be like cap hits $50 to $60 million over the duration of the contract, but he's going to get that money. There's no doubt about it. He's going to get upwards to $50 to $60 million.
Yeah,
it's just the market.
to Tony's point, we actually agree on the fact that I think that if Kyle had to choose between one or the other, he's going to pick Debo. Debo seems to be like Kyle's safety blanket. He is his jack of all trades. Even with a bad quarterback, Debo operates well within 7 yards or less past the line of scrimmage. And so even if you have a new quarterback or a bad quarterback, you can get the game going and some big plays happening by getting the ball in Debo's hand early and then let him go out there and just outrun everybody or bowl somebody over. Where Aiyuk is a guy who's going to run crisp, pristine routes, and you can time everything, but you have to have the right quarterback to get him the ball and make him look that good. And so, and this goes back to what I was telling you about Aiyuk being the fourth option on the team. That was kind of Tony's point. He's never been the focal point for an opposing defense. And so that's what we're all interested to see if he would have been.
I think it all depends because he was the focal point when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Like the man went off.
I like that you said that, though, because if you look at the week-to-week statistics of the 49ers, it potentially at times it's a new guy every week. It's never consistently Debo, never consistently Kittle. I mean, McCaffrey is that consistent player between the run and the pass game. But it's kind of like Kyle goes in with the mindset of pick your poison. Who do you want to who are you going to let me scheme open to beat you? It all goes on what the defense gives the 49ers looks wise. You know, if you're going to roll coverage and bracket George Kittle and take him out of the game, well, guess what? It's going to be Debo, Aiyuk. If you want to roll coverage and try to take Debo, or you want to roll coverage to Aiyuk, you're going to take Debo. Debo's going to be the focal point. So my thing is this. It's you want to keep the nucleus together, but the thing is when you have such a top-heavy team with massive contracts and a couple of them they're about to start really hitting their big dollars, it's tough. It's almost like Brandon Aiyuk could potentially, and don't take this the wrong way, like 49er fans that are watching this, but it's kind of like a luxury signing now to keep Brandon Aiyuk as a single.
You're essentially just deciding between Brandon Aiyuk and Deebo Samuels this year. Because if you keep this is your last season with Brandon Aiyuk and Deebo Samuel.
Next year, it's going to be the decision. That's where it's going to come down and say,
next season. But you're making the decision. If you sign Brandon right now, you have made a decision that you are not re-signing Deebo Samuel. So this is it. So this is kind of where you make the decision on one or the other.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's one of the reasons why I said Pittsburgh was in conversations with the San Francisco 49ers for a very long time because they know the 49ers are in this crossroad. Like, which one? Let me take one of them off your hands because you can't take both of them for much longer. So what you gonna do? Mm-hmm. So, Anyway.
Okay. Well, D, I don't want to hold you any longer. I do want you to plug and promote your pages, your socials one more time, if you don't mind, before we let you go, and then I'll give you your final thoughts after you do that, and then Tony and I will go ahead and get back to the rest of the 49ers talk.
All right. Well, it's again, D-Love Sports on all socials. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. If you are interested in joining us on Sports and Coffee on Playback TV, it's a ton of fun. We're like a family over there. Just follow me, don't send me a message because I don't always do the request, but just at me and then mention me, and then I can send you the link to Playback TV so you can join us in the mornings. All right. Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it.
D, thank you so much. You are a phenomenal guest. And if I can ever return the favor, promote something for you, please don't hesitate to let us know. And we got your back.
I appreciate it. If there are any, Lord have mercy, if there are any Steelers fans or 49ers fans in Atlanta, we'll be doing like a meet and greet in Atlanta, September 7th at Wicked Wolf in Midtown Atlanta. So where our week 1 game is. I know you guys will probably be worried about your week 1 game, but that Saturday we'll be in Atlanta. So feel free to come out and join us.
And it's at Wicked, what was it called? Wicked
Wolf in Midtown.
Wolf.
Yeah.
There you go. Atlanta, represent, man. I got some family out there. I'll try to send them your way, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, D. Thank you so much for coming on. Round of applause for D. Wonderful guest. Thank you very much.
Bye, y'all. Have a good night.
All right. And that is going to do it for our guest, D, coming in, sharing her thoughts on the Steelers, and Brandon Aiyuk conversation. All right. Now, Tony, man, let's get back the ball, man. Let's get back the ball. What are your closing thoughts on this whole Aiyuk situation? We haven't heard from you on this platform in a while, so I want you to share your thoughts. Wherever you want to go with it, and then we'll get to, the preseason game and all that other good stuff.
To be honest with you, I'm sick of it, and I want it to come to an end. You know how I feel as far as the way it was handled and addressed. Players not at 100% fault. I think the more focal should be on the agent, on how he's going about things, like we spoke about. The team could have had him signed earlier. I know a lot of the fan base is saying they screwed up. They could have had this signed seal delivered back then. Well, that's not the way they operate. And the one time that they did it this way, it bit them in the ass. So my thing is this. I just want to get this done, put it behind us, and let's go into this season. You need to get your left tackle back, but that's a whole nother topic for another day.
We're going to discuss that today, because I think getting the left tackle back is huge, Tony. Like, we don't have to do that another day. We could talk about that today, because
they have to. They have to get their left tackle back. But now that it seems like it's going back to the 49ers getting the extension done, it kind of eliminates what we kind of spoke about on the phone. So what the hell was I going to say? I totally forgot.
Left tackle coming back?
Yeah, I just want this done. I want it to be done. Like, that's it. Either you sign the extension with the 49ers and you stay with the 49ers like you claim you want to, or you go out and you accept the trade, the 49ers get what they get back, whatever the compensation is, and you just move on in your separate ways. The question is now, is this relationship damaged because of what transpired? I know money cures everything. Money talks and bullshit walks. But is there some hard feelings that still will be there because of how this transpired between Aiyuk and whether it's, the rumor today was Kyle. He got into a verbal argument with Kyle. That's one of the rumors today. And stuff like that, whether there's a disagreement with Lynch or whatever it is. Let's make the decision. Let's execute the trade, execute the extension, and that's it. It's done. Put it behind us. Pray that there was no issues that trickled down into the locker room. We don't know. But once this is done, I hope they work on Trent Williams' situation and get that handled.
Let me ask you this question, Tony. If they come out and announce a Brandon Aiyuk deal, does that tell you that it's more likely or less likely that Trent Williams' deal gets done?
I think Trent's deal is going to get done no matter what, because I don't think we're talking about extending. I don't think we're talking about paying more. I just think we're talking about guaranteed money. So what you're doing essentially is just rewording the contract on the last 2 years of his deal, or maybe we'll get guaranteed one more year after this at a certain percentage. I don't think because what was his number again? You looked it up, 30.
His cap hit this year was $32 million, if I'm not mistaken.
And then 2025 was what? Like high 30s?
30. Yeah, it was 37.
Yeah. If you're not happy with $37 million to be the starting left tackle of a Super Bowl contending team, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I don't know how that works, because the cap hit and what he's getting that year, I don't know if that's always the same. I don't know. I'm not the cap guy. So, 2024 Trent Williams cap hit is only $10 million, but his base is $20 million, right? And then 2025,
it should be the other way around. Your cap hit is higher than your base, but
it's not. I'm looking at it right here on Spot Rack, and it says,
because that doesn't make sense.
I'll share it. I got the share screen here, which is, again, like, this has been. I told you that Trent Williams' contract has been like a conundrum to me, and here it is. Let me pull it up here. 2024, and let me change the border so we can see it all clearly without lines running through everything. Can you guys see that there? I think it's up there. Trent Williams, this is the base salary of $20 and then the cap hit is over here. It's only 10. It's only 10.7. But next year is when it goes up to 34 and then 37.26. So I was wrong with the years. I was off by a year. 34 and then 37.7, which is almost.
Wait a second. Look at these two next to the 20.5 million, whatever that is. The 6 million and the 4 million. What are those columns?
Right here. Oh, 6 million. So this column here is the same. This is the signing bonus.
Okay.
Right here. That's the signing bonus. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the restructure. Yeah. This is the restructure prorate right here.
That does not make sense whatsoever.
I don't know, but their cap hit number this year is super low.
That number, $20 million, should be adding the restructure of 4,737, and that should be your total cap hit. Because if you add it, no, it's over. If you add, because look at the dead cap.
Dead cap is 29.8 for this year, and I think that might be a total of all these numbers.
No,
so you got this
over.
and this. That's 26. Oh no, that's 30. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. 30. It doesn't add up.
Oh, you know why? Right. They've paid out a certain amount in this the signing bonus so far. So a signing bonus was 30 million, and they've already paid it out 6, 12, 18 this year right here. We'll take it to 24. So that's probably why.
Oh no, wait a second.
Next year is the last year of the signing bonus.
When did they do his restructure?
His restructure, well, I don't know the reports. The reports are he restructured last year, the year before, but the contract came 2021 when they got him. Yeah. And that's what the signing bonus was. I don't know when he actually did the official restructure, so I don't want to lie about that. But according to this, it looks like it kicked in here in 2023. You see it went from 1 million, and then all of a sudden you see consistently the restructure prorate 4.73, 4.73, 4.73, 4.73. So maybe he did do some sort of restructure in this year. I don't know.
That don't make sense. How his cap number?
Yeah, it's an anomaly. I don't understand it. I don't get it at all.
I think that's a typo. I really do, Mike. Because if you look up all the previous years, the cap number is lower. The base salary is lower than the cap.
Mm-hmm. Every single year.
I think that's messed up. Because if you look at the next 2 years, it's all higher.
Yeah, easily. You go from 32.
Typo.
Because this goes, if you look at 2026, it's what you're saying. If you add up the base and the bonuses, it equals this. That's what you were talking about for 2026.
Yeah.
Maybe even for 2025, actually. That's 28. That's 32. Yeah, I mean, so it's closer to the numbers that you were saying. But something's going on with 2024, and I don't get it. And maybe that's why the Niners aren't in a rush to extend them. Maybe. I don't know. That dead cap hit, though.
I swear I think that is wrong, bro. I swear to God. There's no way in hell that could be right. Unless, wait a second, because wait. I think I know what it is. Add up. Yeah, that's what it is. The signing bonus and the
30.
The signing bonus and the restructure equals the salary because he's not on the official 90. So he's retired. He's on the report list. So the contract end of it, his base salary is null and void until he becomes active. So right now, that's all he's on the books for is that 10,756, which is not game checks. That is part of the restructure and the signing bonus.
Okay.
Because I think
these two numbers here, they equal the cap. Yep, you're right.
That's because he's not on the active roster. I bet you any money that's because he's not active right now.
So you're saying that once he reports, it's going to be 10 plus 20. So it's going to jump up to 30.
Yeah. Like, you know what?
These numbers here are reported or assuming that he's going to report.
Correct. Because you see how it's all in unison?
Yeah. So here's what I think. I think that if the Aiyuk deal gets announced or gets done, the Niners are more inclined to restructure Trent because those cap hits are going to be insane at that point.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, man. We'll absolutely see what happens. I think that I think that a signing gets announced tomorrow or the day after, whether it be Trent or it's Aiyuk. I think one of the signings gets announced, and then the other one happens the next day. That's honestly what I think happens.
I honestly think Trent deal is done, and they're just sitting on it.
I have thought so for a while, if I'm being completely honest with you. I've been thinking that for a while. There are some people in this chat that have heard me. I've told them that personally. But I agree with you. I think the Trent deal has been done, and they're going to use that to make more cap space, and then that makes signing and extending Brandon Aiyuk easier for the 49ers. I've thought that all along. We do have some breaking news. 49ers are signing 11-year veteran defensive tackle Nick Williams to a 1-year deal. He last played with the Chargers. He is going into his 12th season this year. Tony, is this a response to Kalia Davis?
It's a camp body, bro. Unless he does something to tear it up. I mean, do you see his stats from last year?
No, I'm afraid to look them up. Are they that bad?
Right here.
I hate that you laughed.
It's right there. 2 fumbles recovered, 1 sack.
But how did he grade out against the run according to PFF?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I don't care. I don't know either.
No, I'm saying the same thing. They graded Pooney as a horrible freaking run blocker in the game last week, and I thought he did great.
I thought he played really well. So what do I know, right? What do we know here? We're just talking talk, man. But a defensive tackle, maybe to replace a guy like Kalia Davis. We got to see him on the field. Do you think this guy plays on Sunday, Tony?
Yeah, they need bodies. Absolutely.
You're going to put a 12-year vet on the field on Sunday after signing on Monday, Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday.
Yeah. They need bodies, Mike. That's why they canceled the scrimmage. They don't have bodies.
Yeah, I guess.
What was he doing? What was he doing? You do realize we're on week 2 of the preseason. No one was banging his door down to get him. Like, I mean, was there a bidding war? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Maybe he was involved in the Brandon Aiyuk trades. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So
back was the big holdup. You know.
He's in here, man. Tony, what were your thoughts? Again, I haven't heard from you in a while, or not that I haven't heard from you, but I'm talking for the people now that are viewing right now. What were your thoughts on the preseason game overall? Who stood out to you? Who didn't? And what's going on with you, man? Kyle Shanahan talked about the Ambry Thomas breaking his forearm. Kalia Davis needs surgery to get some stuff out of that knee there. What are your thoughts on everything, man? Can the Niners hold on? Can we make it to week 1? Will we be able to roster a good 22 starters when week 1 gets here, man?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at the injuries, it's none of the starters.
Okay.
There's no starter hurt. I mean, McCaffrey.
I mean, McCaffrey's hurt.
They're sitting with McCaffrey. I mean, I bet you if there was a big game this weekend, McCaffrey would play. I think it's more precautionary. You know, I don't see I mean, we don't know what's going to happen now. If Aiyuk signs this deal, what shape is he in? You know, or we just talked about it. Trent Williams,
right?
You know, so. I think their 22 starters are pretty much in good shape. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about Dre Greenlaw or Hufanga, who's been out, but I think pretty much all the other guys that were supposed to start week 1, I think they're ready to go. I don't think there's going to be any issue.
What did you think about? All right, let's start with the offense. The first 2 drives, I think the starting, or as close to the starting team, was out there for those. Who stood out to you on offense? I know you mentioned Dominic Pooney having a good game so far. Who else stood out to you on the offensive side of the ball?
I mean, I think, call me crazy, I think the offensive line played well. I really do. And I know people are going to say, yeah, but then, everyone's going to have that, yeah, but.
Nah, I'm making some noise for that, man. We dropping a bomb on that. The offensive line.
I just think, I mean, Taylor Moore was sick. He didn't play. Guess who stepped right in? Chris Hubbard, a left tackle. Guy they signed off the street. Looks pretty good. He had a solid game. Pooney, 4th-round pick. Oh, the Niners don't draft. They don't invest their picks in linemen. Well, I think potentially he's going to be your starting right guard. Feliciano's banged up. Brendel's banged up. You don't know the status of them going forward. It's not day-to-day with these guys. It seems like it's week to week. So
you know who didn't run from that? Kyle did not run from that. When he was asked about it yesterday, does Pooney have a chance to start at right guard? He said, yes, absolutely he does.
Yeah, I mean, how can you deny it, right? Think about it.
Come on.
How can you honestly sit there and deny that? Can you?
I couldn't. Hell no. The kid looked good to me. I don't know where I'm not even going to get started on that. But yeah, no, I thought Pooney looked good. Hubbard, I was very impressed with. Who else? Come on. Guess who I use. Guess what player I use for the image for today's episode.
Who?
Come on. It was an offensive player. Who do you think I would have used for today's episode?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Oh, JP Mason?
There you go. That's the one, baby. You got to give me your thoughts on Mason, man. Tony.
The thing is, we know what the Niners have in Mason, right? We know what he has. What the Niners know what they have in him. Right? He was there last year. He started showing why the Niners kept him on the 53. So it's not that big of a shock to me. I'm focusing in on a position group that the Niners got absolutely, as it passed, got fucking smoked. Oh, shit. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I got you.
He's loud. I can't lower.
Oh, no, it's gone now. Oh, he went on mute. He got it. I thought Mason looked good. My favorite thing about Mason was hearing that he invested in himself buying a jugs machine. And everyone's like, oh, it was only $3,000, This guy is on an undrafted running back contract. He ain't getting a ton of money. $3,000 is a big amount of money for a guy who was undrafted. I don't care what y'all say. To invest in just catching some balls, he probably would have been better suited going to a high school saying, hey, just throw me some balls. Like, this guy bought a jugs machine to use at home to work on his game. I loved hearing that about him. This is a guy invested in not just, being better for the Niners, but being better for himself. He wants to make a name for himself. I think that was a solid look by him. But who else stood out to you on the offensive side of the ball? And then we'll go to the defense afterwards. Who else stood out to you, Tony?
I'm gonna talk a position group, and I kind of addressed on it. I think the 49ers offensive line throughout the game, minus a handful of plays, I thought they played well as a unit. I thought, the Niners got bashed for not drafting people, all this stuff like that. Okay, guess what? Pooney, 4th-round pick, played very well. Jared Kingston, 7th-round pick from sixth-round pick from USC. Oh, he ain't gonna even make the roster. Played very well. The problem is the two guys from Mexico, the two tackles, they struggled. And unfortunately, when those two were on the field, it kind of set the offensive line back in production. But as far as the interior, I think it's been a massive upgrade. And you did not see Brendel, no Feliciano. Banks played a little bit. But I'm telling you right now, Kingston, Zakel, the undrafted free agent from Michigan, Nugent, those guys are here, and those guys are going to push. And a very interesting thing I caught was this. Nugent got reps at left guard. All right, you're talking about a 6'1", 6'2" guy with shorter arms than what most teams would like, getting reps at left guard. That tells me that they're seriously looking at this kid to potentially come in. Potentially, I'm not saying make, but fight for that final backup center spot between Zakel and him. And also Ben Barch. Barch played well. I think the interior of this offensive line, center guard, center guard, has been upgraded, in my opinion.
You want a guy with short arms like Nugent snapping the ball to your quarterback?
I see Nugent to potentially be a type of center like Kelsey was. Low to the ground. You can't move him. He's like a fire hydrant because if he's 6'1", they list him as 6'2". If he's 6'1", I'll give you $100.
Right.
Okay. And he's just like he's short, stout, strong. You see him, bro. He's like wide as shit on the field and come running out with a shoulder pad. He's a big dude. But they invest over the last 2 years with a guy here, a guy here, a guy here, and you're starting to see Chris Forrester develop these guys. And you're seeing the production. McKivitz, I think he played the first series or two. I got to be honest with you. This is a very hard game to evaluate because I think the Titans thought this was like the Super Bowl. My man comes out sending a 2-man blitz on the first snap. Like, what are we doing? It's fucking preseason, guy. You don't win the Super Bowl preseason games.
What'd you think of, while we're on the offensive side of the ball and reviewing all of that, what do you think of the wide receivers in the game? Who stood out to you from that position? Because let's be honest, this is going to be a major concern if guys like Brandon Aiyuk hold out or, God forbid, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm going to say I'm knocking on wood. God forbid he comes in and something's tight early because of how long he's missed, getting ramped up for football shape. And he has to miss a week or two early on in the season. What do you feel about the backup wide receivers? Now, again, we didn't see any Debo. We didn't see any Jennings out there. So you got to take it all with a grain of salt. But what do you think? Who stood out to you as far as wide receivers?
I'll tell you, I think the wide receivers did okay, too. I do. I like Tay Martin. I really like Tay Martin. I like how he plays, his swagger. He high points the ball. I mean, he had one go right through his hands. Unfortunately, it would have been a big play for Brandon Allen on a deep shot. But, if you look at Tay Martin, then you look at Frank Darby, right? Darby on that, I don't know what kind of route it was, to be honest with you, kind of like route.
I almost said rest in peace, Tay Martin, but he didn't die, but he's done. Like, he's back on the Niners IR now.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Tay Martin's not on the IR.
No, I said Darby. I said Darby.
Oh.
I said Darby.
No, you just said Tay Martin was on the IR.
Oh, well, I misspoke. I apologize. Someone did say I like Tay Martin, so maybe I looked at that message and said that. Unfortunately, I didn't mean to say that.
We cut Tay up with Darby with an injury because he was injured, and they brought him back and put him on the IR. So he's back with the Niners. I like him. I think he could be a very decent developmental piece for this team going forward. Still with questions. It's not officially done yet. We don't know which way he's going to decide, but it could be another piece to the puzzle. Chris Connolly. I'm going to say it right now. If Brandon Aiyuk decides to go to Pittsburgh Steelers, Chris Connolly is your starting wide receiver opposite of Deebo Samuel. And he honestly deserves it.
Should be. He should be. Did you watch his presser, Tony?
Yeah.
I did a breakdown of it on my Patreon and for the members of this page. And let me tell you something, man. This guy is just everything you want in the 49ers locker room, specifically in that receiver room. When they go down to talk, when they're sitting with the position groups, you absolutely – this is my first time ever hearing Chris Conley talk. I don't know if I've ever seen him without a damn helmet before, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I saw 84, and I'm like, Randy Moss? And who was the last 84 we had, right? I was very, very happy. And he threw shots at Brandon Aiyuk. That's the kind of stuff I like. I love when players come in here and take shots at other players on the team that are giving the team a hard time. My man said it is a privilege and an honor to be offered to play in an offense like this. He said, and you don't take that for granted. And then he corrected himself, well, I wouldn't take something like that for granted. That was a shot at Brandon Aiyuk. I don't care what anybody says. That was a clear shot at Brandon Aiyuk. And it's not that he doesn't like Brandon Aiyuk or he hates him or anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he is trying to say, as a veteran, hey, be aware of the opportunity presented to you. He said, I will go out and play on special teams, and I want to be the best at it because I would rather be contributing in that way than watching from the sideline or watching from home. That is, as Terry Dome says, he is a pro's pro. That is the kind of guy you want in this locker room. I have a newfound respect after watching that presser of Chris Donnelly, man. You mentioned Tay Martin. Obviously, you're talking about Conley. And you also mentioned Darby, who is not going to be able to play anytime soon. I got to ask you this question as a receiver, not as a return man, as a receiver. Tony, what do you think the odds are of Trent Taylor making this roster?
I think he could make it. I think it's a crapshoot. I really do. I don't know which way they're gonna go. I don't know. Like I don't know what they're gonna do as far as, are they gonna use Debo as the return guy? Are they gonna stick with? Are they gonna, as far as punt returns? Are they gonna go with Ronnie Bell? We don't know which route they're gonna go. We don't. And if you could say you do, I more power to you, because I have no freaking clue. But I'm just going to say this. All the guys that we just talked about, I'm watching it now. In the run game, they all ran downfield and blocked their man, and they all pretty much did a decent job doing it. I'm actually watching the game right now as we speak. The tight end group, I think the kid that they signed in the offseason, Saubert.
Eric Saubert, yeah.
Eric Saubert solidified the number 2 tight end as the blocking tight end. After watching him block versus the Titans, he put 2 guys on their ass. So that's something that, Kyle wants, so he can use Kittle if they go 2 tight end sets with 22 personnel and they try to take advantage, or 12 personnel and try to take advantage of a defense with a scheme package, and you want to keep a guy in the block, that's going to be Saubert, whatever his fucking name is. Saubert, yeah. Well, I mean, like, overall, I'm like, the first drive, I'm impressed. I mean, I think they pretty much went right down the field. There was no penalties saying, like, they gave him a first down. I think Allen looked good on the first drive. I think Allen's stats got hindered a little bit due to 2 big drops that probably were like 40 to 50-yard gains each one. So, there's a lot of positive. It's week 1 of the preseason, so you're really not getting the full firepower on the offense.
You're not getting the play calls and all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's no script. There's no design. I mean, Kyle Shannon didn't even call plays. So,
And that's my next question to you. How'd you feel about finding out Kyle wasn't calling plays?
Kyle's done this before.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He said himself it was his first time in 16 years not calling plays.
Well, he lied to you.
Tell me, educate me. Educate all of us watching right now.
Mike and Matt LaFleur called the offense in the Senior Bowl. And I think another preseason game as well.
Senior
Bowl. No, I'm serious.
That's
one of the LaFleur brothers called the game for what's the LaFleur that we had?
We had Mike LaFleur, if I'm not mistaken.
Mike LaFleur called the Senior Bowl. And I think McDaniel called the preseason game.
Now I got to check and see if it was Mike LaFleur.
Yeah, because Matt LaFleur is the head coach of the Packers.
Yeah, he was with Kyle in Cleveland and then here again in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And now he's with the Jets. Yeah. I feel like we had Matt also, though. Is that weird? Did we have both of them?
No, we were supposed to get Matt, but Matt went with McVay.
Or did he go to Green Bay? I thought Matt's the head coach in Green Bay, but he went. You're right.
He split and went with McVay, and then he became the head coach of
yes.
Who else on the offensive side of the ball? I see someone mentioned Willis was okay. Callie mentioned Willis. I think Willis was playing the fullback role. So you really didn't see much from him as far as
he got a couple of snaps at tight end, but not a lot.
Yeah, where they motioned him out of the backfield, like flexed off the left tackle or right tackle. But he was primarily like the fullback. Schrader, I like what I saw from Schrader.
Somebody out there block this guy right here. Someone block Callie Young, please. I want him out of this chat. I'm kidding. Don't block Callie. I'm kidding. Latu was fire for that to be his first game time in a long time. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. All right, so cut it out. All right, you said you like Schrader. How?
Yes. I like Schrader on the one run where it was a hold call. You saw him see it and hit it. So you saw the mental aspect of his game. That's what you're looking for right now. The second one, which is probably the toughest thing to teach coming from college to the NFL, is pass protection. He picked up that blitz flawlessly. Granted, it was a double blitz. He did the right assignment. Closest man to the quarterback took him, and the other guy looped around him. You like to see that IQ from a player who's an undrafted free agent and coming in to your system to try to make your team the team. Another thing was on the kick return. You saw him receive the ball. He ran. He saw the opening. Bang, he cut and ran it. So two things that are incredibly hard to teach is vision and the ability to pass protect. He showed me that he did that without an issue. So what I like, that's what I like. That's why I said I like him. He didn't rush for 80 yards and a touchdown. No. But I think the things that running backs from the collegiate level to the NFL level struggle with, I think he did very well with in this game.
Do you think sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Do you think that the 49ers offensive linemen graded so poorly in the run game because after Mason came out, the total of them, the rest of them, only replicated his production? Like, he finished with 34 yards when he had 68 rushing yards. Like, he literally had half of it, and that was a drive and a half. Do you think that's why the run grades were so bad? Because they were trying. It's not like they didn't attempt it. Matt Breida couldn't get anywhere. Schrader couldn't get anywhere. Yeah. And there was someone else. There was another running back.
I also think at the end of that drive, they started moving people. So the first drive, they came out, they ran mostly like a power gap scheme. They ran one outside zone or inside zone play that I just saw. But it was majority of like a power gap, man in front of you, block down, whatever, like that, like a power gap scheme, which fits Mason very well. So with that being said, then they tried to transition and probably bring Schrader in and Breida in and tried to do a little bit of an inside-outside zone scheme. And I think the number one thing when you're running an outside zone is all continuity. You all got to move flawlessly together. And these guys, they practice together. It's not like you have the starting offensive line. I guarantee you if the starting offensive line was out there, I think Schrader's production would have been a little better. I also feel
about Trent Taylor with the run play. That's who I knew. Someone else ran the ball. It was Trent Taylor. That
was a backside reverse or a backside jet sweep or so. I think that was a reverse.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will tell you this: I was not impressed with Breida at all. He's not running the way he used to run with the Niners when he was here previously. I don't see the speed. I almost see like a slight hesitation, and he put the ball on the ground. So, that's something to keep an eye on. But now my next question is somebody that the 49ers talked highly about was Taylor, the kid they signed from Green Bay. He didn't get one carry.
He didn't get a carry. We didn't see Mordecai in as quarterback. Do you think, how much of that do you think changes this coming week? How many of the people that we didn't see do we actually see on the offensive side of the ball?
I think you're going to see a lot. I think you're going to see everybody this week, minus Christian McCaffrey.
From starters down.
I think he might trot out the first team because you got to remember something. They're not scrimmaging this week. So this is their only live go before the preseason. I mean, I don't think you're going to see, obviously, Aiyuk. I don't think you're going to see Trent Williams. I don't think you're going to see
Elijah Mitchell.
McCaffrey. I don't think you'll see Elijah Mitchell. I do think J.P. Mason will get the nod, and then they'll start rotating in and trickling people in.
Okay.
But I mean, that's pretty much from the offensive side of the ball. I think the young guys that they drafted over the last 2 years, did well. I think the pieces that were added to the offense showed up, did well. I think the quarterback play was better than what I thought it would be, especially Allen. If Allen hit those two deep balls, I mean, he hit them. The guys just dropped them. Bell and Tate Martin. But if he hit on those two,
Allen had one that was right in the hands, and believe it or not, so did Dobbs. Dobbs had a deep one later in the game that was also right in the hands.
Yeah.
No excuse to drop those, man. Those quarterbacks are putting the ball
So the quarterback play was actually pretty damn good if you don't look at the statistics and you just watch the game.
So, which quarterback do you think you're leaning towards for QB2? And
I want to see
the defense.
I want to see Mordecai.
For QB2? I said for QB2.
I want to see Mordecai.
I don't know what's in my hookah, but I don't know if y'all ears heard or my ears heard, but he
said you have to think of it like this, right? And the way I see it is no one's going to break the doors down to get Dobbs. No one's going to break the doors down to get Allen. So if they got to put one of them on waivers at the final 53 and Mordecai shows that he can play in this system, I think that's the route they go. I think if they show
breaking down the door to get Mordecai either. What are you saying?
Listen to me. I think if Mordecai shows that he can play, Mordecai was a good quarterback at Ole Miss, Mike. I don't know if you ever watched any like his film. He's a good quarterback. But I will tell you this. If he plays well, they're not cutting. Because remember how we had the discussion with Brock Purdy? And I said, there's no way in hell they're letting Brock Purdy go. And you're like, he's not going to need that. Look what Brock Purdy was. This team has for some reason, those late round guys, they find people. And I give that to, what's his name?
Mordecai. If Mordecai comes out and looks well in a series or two, it's Joshua Dobbs trade bait to the Minnesota Vikings, who just lost J.J. McCarthy.
Could be, but he also just left Minnesota.
Which is more of a reason to trade him back over there, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they wanted to upgrade from him to begin with. I mean, is he trade bait? I don't know. Maybe they'll hold him to the last minute before they cut down and try to get him for a 6th round pick or a 7th round pick. I don't know, but I honestly feel
pull that trigger?
With what?
Would you, if the Vikings call you at the end of week 3 and say, hey, before we make these final roster cuts, we want Dobbs back?
I would have to see.
They offer you a 6th.
I have to see Mordecai play. If Mordecai plays and he plays well, yes. If he doesn't play, I don't know what they would do.
Interesting. Very interesting. I feel like both of the quarterbacks were in command of the offense. I feel like Dobbs was the better quarterback as far as like reading the field and kind of operating, I'm going to say off script for a lack of a better term, where I feel like Brandon Allen was more the in-rhythm quarterback.
Yeah.
3rd step, deliver. 5th step, deliver type of guy, right? Where I feel like Joshua Dobbs was more of the guy that's going to will your team to a win.
Yeah.
And you could see him wanting to be the guy that hit the 3rd step and deliver, but if it wasn't there or he wasn't comfortable with it, he would not hesitate to look around and find someone else to go to with the ball. So I think they both operated well within the system. I just think that Allen was a little bit more in sync and in rhythm overall. Now, it's not a coincidence that Allen got the start and played with the better offensive lines. So maybe they switch it up this week. Maybe they go Dobbs for the first half. And then, or maybe Brock for the first drive, and then let Dobbs finish the half. Mordecai for maybe Allen for the 3rd quarter, and then Mordecai for the 4th quarter. Maybe we see something like that this week, so they can get a better evaluation of those guys. Let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball and wrap this thing up here soon, because I don't want to keep you too late. I know
I'm good
in the morning, and so do I. Oh, okay. I got to get your thoughts on the defense, man. There were a couple of guys that stood out. We know about Kalia Davis and then the injury. We saw some good plays from Malik Mustafa. Then we saw, him even on special teams shining. I just got to get your thoughts on the defense as a whole. Any linebackers that stood out? We know that Dre Greenlaw's spot is up for grabs. Talanoa Hufanga isn't going to be back anytime soon, although the reports came out today that he's meeting with a doctor and could get cleared in a couple of days or whatever. But I doubt he's returning to the practice field.
The guy tore his ACL in November.
Right. Like
It's not
I
even
just
a
don't
year.
think that he's right. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. But I digress. Who stood out to you on defense? Anybody looking to take any of those spots? Talk to me about the corners, the lack of the corner play out there. Like there's a lot of guys that didn't play that I was hoping to see in the secondary. Your thoughts on it all?
Well, again, injuries hampering the depth of this team, right? We spoke about how the starters aren't affected yet. Well, really, really fully affected, but it affected the depth. As far as the defensive line, the kid Garvin, I think, played very well for coming off the street. And he actually played in the, was that the UFL now? The Rocks League with the Birmingham Stallions, and he did well there. He's a more bigger physical defensive end, not an underside speed guy. Played the run really well in this game. Got a couple pushes in a pass rush attempts. I thought he played solid. Khalil Davis played well, but unfortunately, he's got to go under the scope for a minor procedure. Nothing like year out for the year. I think he could be back before midway point, but we'll see how that works and what they decide to do with him. The undrafted free agent Anderson from Florida Atlantic, I think, played well. You saw his size, you saw his strength, you saw his jump off the line, stood up a couple guys. But again, you got to talk about this, right? I don't know what the fuck the Titans were trying to approve yesterday. I don't know if it was Rand Carthon trying to make a statement, but they blitzed the shit out of the 49ers offense, and they kept the first offensive line into almost the third quarter. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. You have your starters beating up guys that are not even might even be on the roster for the 49ers. And it's not because of that, it's not a good evaluation, right? You're talking about high-end starters versus low-end players, low-end roster fringe guys. If they shine, oh, great. This is great. They're playing well versus the starters. But on the other hand, if they're not doing well, it's not fair to knock them because they are lower tier fringe players. So on the flip side of it, I thought Robert Beal Jr. had an okay game. I thought it would be a little bit better, but I like his motor. Like he got beat on an outside on a read option play with Willis, and he was the one who ran him down and caught him from behind. He didn't give up. There's a couple plays where he got some pressure in the backfield. He had some plays versus the run where he did okay, and there's some plays versus the run he bit the bait and ran himself right out of the play, opened up the whole left or right side of the line at the time. I don't remember. But the defensive line, some guys played well. I think McGill might have some explaining to do. I believe he jumped offside twice in this game and got pulled out both times and his ear chewed out by Kosaric. So I think he's going to be stocked down after this game. The linebackers, I'll tell you what, D. Winters is a freaking maniac. And I never seen – we thought Drake Greenlaw closes fast. D. Winters closes fast. Malik Mustafa closes fast. But sticking at the linebacker level, minus 2 plays maybe, where D. Winters got caught looking in the backfield in pass coverage and through a zone, was late to pick up the zone or late to pass off the coverage. I think he that was his only downside. But versus the run, I think he did well. I think he shot the gaps, filled up, he kept his run fits and stuff like that. I think he played well. The other guy I want to give a shout out to is the other rookie linebacker in the same draft, Jalen Graham. I think he played well, being the Mike linebacker, calling the plays from the sideline. Who else? Who was the other linebacker that came in? Curtis Robinson had a couple nice open field tackles. Trying to think through my head real quick. Secondary, Ambry Thomas, penalty, got hurt. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. You don't want to wish anybody getting hurt. But, unfortunately, he broke his forearm. He's done for the year, I think. The other corner,
Not
who's the other?
year? Kyle said that he could come back a little later. like week 6 or something like that. He said.
Oh, really? Oh. Who was the other corner that started? Womack.
Womack did get some burn out there. There's somebody else though.
I think the rookie class had the rookie and the whole rookie class.
Yasin. Rock Yasin, sorry.
Rock Yasin had an excellent. Rock Yasin had a great game. I thought he played very well. I thought he competed well. He was well in coverage. Run support was there. I think he had a really, really solid game. I'm not saying become the starter game, but he played better than what I thought he would play at this point of his career. Like he kind of impressed me. Like he shocked me a little bit. So I like what he did. I like how he played. I also like the rookie class. I like what I saw from Green. He's not perfect. He still needs to develop a little bit, but you see why the 49ers drafted him. And the key factor was they kept moving him inside, outside, inside, outside. So that tells me that they're prepping this kid for a pretty significant role this year on the defense. And so far, after one game, I like what I see. Malik Mustafa, another rookie. I mean, come on. The kid played very well. I mean, in the run game, he closes, he triggers. It's nice to see because, our constant issue was Funga this, Jair Brown might not be fast enough. This kid's fast, and you're adding him to a secondary that already has a Jair Brown, who Funga, when he comes back healthy, you're talking about a deep secondary. The Niners went in on their secondary. Odom, I think Odom played a solid game, right? Flying around the field, wasn't out of position for a special teams guy, kind of understood what his role was and his responsibilities were. No one looked lost in the secondary. I got to just say that, and I was impressed with that. Now, the question is this the product of Brandon Staley? Because he's been working solely with these guys. So I like what I've seen from the secondary, the linebackers, the defense. It could come down to the point where the 49ers defensive line just totally ran out of depth, and they were gassed, and they were just getting pushed around. I do expect them to keep their eye on the waiver wire once it comes closer to cut down, and you might see them make a move for a potential another pass rusher because don't forget, Jackson's done for the year. And just to be honest with you, Jackson suffered an injury similar to Weston Richburg that pretty much ended his career. So we got to see.
Yeah. There were a lot of standouts. I went over mine already, so I'm not going to, waste time going over all of my thoughts on it all. Tony, who do you want to see replacing Greenlaw? And when you answer that, do you think the Niners should take an opportunity here with Greenlaw being injured now to try to extend him during the injury? I would have to imagine that if they did it now, it would be pennies on the dollar as opposed to what it would be if he was healthy.
I don't think it's a priority right now. I think their number one priority is to make their decision with Aiyuk, get Trent back, decide what they want to do potentially at one of those corners. Because you got to realize something, right? Right now, everything's set. We're good. We know what we got. We know the players. We know the roles. They're still tinkering people, moving them in places. We understand that. But 2025, you could potentially looking at one starter returning. So I think they really need to start making decisions on what they want to do with the corners, if they want to try to retain anybody, or if they want to try to retain both of them or let both of them walk. I can't recall seeing Luter in this game. Did you notice if Luter played this game?
I don't remember. I don't think so either. Let me check the stats just to see if he's in the stat sheet.
I mean, I'm watching it right now.
And no, he's not on the stat sheet.
Okay.
I think he was injured though, right? Didn't he tweak something and he didn't even suit up?
I don't know. But I think the Niners are in a very like transition decision-making time for this franchise. And I think if they go all in and they keep Brandon Aiyuk, I think it's going to cause a ripple effect. So the question is, by extending Aiyuk, what's the cost to the roster? If you by extending Aiyuk, does that mean you're gonna have 2 young corners next year? Does it mean you're only gonna have one of those corners back? Does it mean you're gonna have Ty Hufunga back? Like, there's a lot of things that need to be, and I know they could play. Believe me, I'm not stupid. I know the 49ers and how they operate. See, like that was a phenomenal play right there by D. Winters. Phenomenal, where he nailed that back in the backfield. So that's what that's it's further down the road, but that's something that needs to be discussed as well. So it could start this year with the decision making on free on cut down time, right? If you have a younger guy on a cheaper contract, but you have a guy on a 1-year veteran, this is why I said with Mordecai, if they feel Mordecai could be a guy that they could develop to be a backup, and you have 2 guys on 1-year deals, one of them making $5 million plus, this could be an opportunity to start grooming Mordecai. You move on from Dobbs, you clear up that $5 million, you roll it over next year, and you start building the pot next year and let them figure that out from that point. As far as the scheme with the defense, I saw a little bit more stunting than last year. Games with the tackles in the ends, basic, nothing crazy. I like their design blitzes that they did a couple guys where it was an A-gap blitz with a linebacker and someone coming off the edge, whether it was a safety or a nickel. You're seeing a little bit more aggression. Granted, it's only preseason, but you're seeing the philosophy that we didn't see last year with Wilkes, right? Yeah, they said Wilkes is aggressive and blitzes. Yeah, he had one blitz. It was off the edge. Or he would send the middle linebacker up the middle, right? It looks a little bit more creative. And to say that after one preseason game, I think it could be premature, but it's more than what we saw with Wilkes. So I'm just going to tell the fan base right now, you're going to see 34 front looks with this defense, a hybrid defense. Shit. Obviously, they're not going to show it in preseason, but you're going to see some hybrid looks.
Yeah, talk about high. I think we're going to see some 5 down lineman looks.
It's coming. I think the way they built this defense, I think the pieces that they added to this defense, it could be a fully hybrid defense. I think the core principles of 43 front, the cover 3, single high safety, that's their principle. That's their foundation. And you could see 2 deep, you could see 2 shell, you could see cover 4, you could see cover 6. You could see a variety of things. You could see a 34 front. You could see 2 down linemen with 2 outside backers standing up in a 2-point stance. You're going to see things that are going to catch opposing offenses off guard. And I think that's because Brandon Staley's here. And it's not them saying that Brandon Staley's in control. No, I truly believe that Nick Sorensen is in control of his defense. But I do think Staley's brought in there to work with Sorensen and to help him and to give them that change in that different look rather than the continuous of the cover 3 and teams know where to attack. So they're going to change it up and give it a little bit of creativity, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I hate the kickoff, just to let you know.
So you're already saying that Sorensen is an improvement over Wilkes after a preseason game where we didn't see much of anything.
I think the combination of the two is improvement over Wilkes. I think Wilkes came in as a secondary specialist, and I think the secondary. Well, it's hard to say this because I think he might have gotten his hands on him, but from evaluating Green, the rookie from Florida State, I think Staley's paying dividends to this secondary. I think Green's problems are correctable.
Okay.
But you can see why the Niners drafted Green.
Yeah.
And I do agree with Callie. Now with Jackson on the shelf, I do think they're going to start looking for. They got to add another piece of defensive end.
Okay. All right. And you said that you don't like the new kickoff. What do you mean by that? You don't like the rules, or you don't like the way we played it? Because we were trash.
I just don't. It's hard to go from doing it your whole life this way to change to that. Like, I mean, how do
everybody in the league though? That's everybody in the league.
Not only for the Niners, but how do you scheme? Like, how do you scheme a return on that?
I heard Snyder say that these guys went from training themselves from the moment the foot contacted the ball to move to now not being able to move until the ball is touched or hits the ground.
Yeah, it's got to be caught by their opposing team, the receiving team, or touched.
And he was talking about how difficult that is. But that makes me wonder why the Niners didn't bring in a consultant from the league that had this rule already in place. Like, we have the money to do things like that. It doesn't come out of the salary cap to pay coaches and consultants.
To tell you the truth, I don't even think they needed to bring a consultant in. They could just watch the UFL because they did it last year. It's the same
watching
rules.
Enough to coach. I don't know if it works that way.
Well, how do you coach? You use film. You watch film and you correct off of film.
Yeah, but you need people in there that know what they're doing. Like, they come up. All right, check this out. And Diamador Lenoir's latest presser, he said that he made they praised him for making a really great play at the end of practice, the last practice, right? And he said, yeah, they got me with this play earlier in the week or the week before. He said, so they came out in the same formation. This time they had Christian McCaffrey as the second option on the side with the two wide receivers. So I came out, I shadowed Cowling, and then I heard, this is the part I want you to focus on. I heard Warner yell ball, and that's when he broke on the ball without seeing the play, and then he made his play, right? Like, don't you think that they would benefit from somebody, maybe making a training sound like got it, or just something to let people know, all right, now it's time to move, or a hit or a bounce or something to let them know, like, I don't know, maybe because film isn't going to show you that. Film isn't going to show you the audible keys. Film isn't going to show you the keys that teams are using. It's going to show you how they cover, maybe formations and placement, but I think all that's already dictated by the rules. You got to be standing with this far from that person and facing each other, and you can't move. Like, I think the film is only going to show you the basics. I think the intricacies are going to be on the cues and the keys and adjustments, like a shift after the ball hits the ground or something. I don't know. I just feel like maybe they could have benefited from it. I understand what you're saying, like just look at the film and see what they're doing, but it has to be taught also, no?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. It's tough, bro. It's so tough. Like, I don't know. I think it's fully advantage for the kickoff team because the kickoff team sees the ball, right? They see the ball, they catch it, and they make the first move, right? Because they're identifying the ball being caught. So they have a jump right off the bat. Now, I mean, I don't know if you could scheme a return, like if you could pull one side and have them lead around. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know, bro. It's just so stupid. If I honestly, I kick the ball out of the end zone every play. That's all.
I'm not giving the team the 30. I'm not giving the team the ball at the 30 every time. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. There's no way I'm giving the opposing team the ball at the 30-yard line every time. I can't do it, Tony.
Was it going to the 25?
It goes to the 30 instead of the 25.
Before this, it was the 25.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, but that's 30 yards a game. The Niners were averaging 31 points when fully healthy.
Yeah.
Right? You got 7, 14, 21, 28, 31. That's 5 scoring possessions where they're kicking the ball off, and then you got one more where they're kicking the ball off to start the game or the second half, regardless of scoring. So there's that extra one. That's a difference of 30 yards a game. That's a big difference, man. That is a huge difference. Kyle Shanahan's 15-yard penalty on the opening kickoff is what led to the touchdown. Like, that's the difference in winning and losing a game. And I get it. I know it was preseason and he wasn't calling plays and all that stuff. But yards make a difference in the grand scheme of things. If you're just going to give away 30 yards in a game, that ain't cool to me.
No,
in the NFL, where most games are decided by four or less points, 30 yards is a big difference. I don't know. It kind of scares me a little bit. That's all. I heard it and kind of said, "Oh no, I never thought of that." It was tongue-in-cheek comment. He was kind of making fun of the guy that asked the question, you know. But I just think it's a little bit dangerous. I think that it could be a very, very big benefit if you learn to master what it is. You have your guy kick the ball at the 7 or 8 yard line so it bounces, makes them declare, makes them over pursue, running up to catch the ball or backing up or whatever, make them hesitate a little bit. And I don't know. Because there is a rule where if it lands in a certain spot and then goes into the end zone, they get it at the 15. Just those two differences alone is a 15-yard difference per drive. So you got to try to master it somehow. And I would like to see the Niners invest a little bit more in their special teams. But overall, when the game was said and done, I was happy with the output. I wasn't happy with the score and the final results. But I mean, for it to be week 1, I wasn't mad about it, especially knowing how many injuries we had and how many people didn't play out there. There was a ton of players missing, a ton of players. So don't think by any chance that this is a final look for the team or anything like that. Week 2 is going to be huge. Sunday, 8 p.m., it's going to be a lot of fun. It's on Fox. Everybody should be able to watch that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to bring that game to everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. Where are you watching the game on Sunday?
I'll probably be working. I don't know.
I'll send you the link. All right, man. Let's get out of here, man. Do you have any final thoughts to leave the people with before we go
home? I'm trying to see if there's an update on the Brandon Aiyuk situation.
Nah, it's too late now. Nothing's gonna be finalized this late. It's almost 8:30 on the West Coast right now. I've been checking Twitter sporadically throughout the show. I don't see anything here pending. Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah. So I guess we gotta wait till tomorrow for the new updates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The new old updates.
Yeah.
So
the Niners have a contract offer on the table, and the Steelers agreed to a deal with the Niners. No fucking shit.
Add the Steelers to the Browns who had an agreement in place, and the Patriots that had an agreement in place, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I do want to ask you one more question.
What?
At the end of the season, the 49ers are going to have 2 starting corners that are going to be pending free agents if they don't get a deal done, and Charvarius Ward and Deommodore Lenoir. Which one of those 2 would you want to bring back, or do you want to reserve the right to answer that question based off of the season?
I want to defer to the end of the season.
All right.
But honestly, I don't know I don't know how they're gonna. I just don't know how they're gonna do all this shit. I mean, yeah, I know I'm not an idiot. There is a salary cap they can manipulate it. I totally see that. I was Debbie. I totally understand that, but I mean, there's a reason why they cut Eric Armstead this year. Just remember that, because big money. They had an opt out. They did it.
Plus, I think they knew that he was injured, so that also I think plays a role in it.
True.
I really, really think that played a big role in it. Guys, my final thoughts are this, man. You know, it's a long season. Please, please, please be patient and realize that agents have a job to do. Don't let the agent sour you on the view and opinion of your favorite players, guys. The players aren't asking for this. The players are just asking to be paid and respected the way that they feel that they should be. And we have to just see how it all plays out. All right. Hopefully we see a lot more of this season, and less of, someone else trying to do it. That's all I got. All right. We're going to get out of here. We will be back here on Thursday. We'll have an exciting show for you previewing the 49ers matchup against the New Orleans Saints. We're getting back into our regularly scheduled program here on Tuesdays and Thursdays with a bunch of other shows coming in between. Make sure you guys are locked in and subscribe to all the different avenues. Join the membership here on the Nothing But Niners YouTube page, and make sure you guys sign up for the Patreon as well. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Tony, I want to thank you for jumping in and making some time to hang out with us, man. We missed you. And it's always, always a good time, all right?
Yes, sir.
Let's get out of here. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but